Hello, Internet, and welcome once again to the always online multiplayer gaming podcast brought to you by MMOBomb.com, your home for all things multiplayer related. This is episode 411. It is November 19th, 4 p.m. Eastern. We do the show live every week, twitch.tv/MMOBomb, 1 p.m. Eastern. However, this week, 4 p.m. Eastern, so that we can bring in a special guest to talk about some fun stuff. We're going to start with Blizzard and get that the hell out of the way. And then we're just going to move on to some more misery. I don't know why he still plays this game. Maybe he can help me get it. I don't want to bash it because I think there's hope, but I don't think it's in a good spot right now. So we brought over Mr. Troy Blackburn, the Noob Fridge himself, to talk a little New World later. And then Halo's YOLO launch. How the hell did you like that, Troy?
I was busy, and then I got more busy. Thank you, Halo.
He's been back. He did the Star Wars or Star Trek Online stream last week. We gave away some stuff. Haven't seen him in a while, but he's the reason we are doing the show a little later, because we wanted to get him back in here so that you could say hello to Mr. Wilfredo Rivera. How are you, sir?
Hey, it's been a while. August was the last time I was on.
August? Was it really August?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, it's been a minute. But
now we get you in right before Thanksgiving. Kind of told you we'd do the same thing with Wilfredo that we kind of do with Zach Sharps. When the schedule permits, if we modify when the show goes. And Troy is all for it. Troy only wants to host shows with Wilfredo now, since they can't go up until 4 p.m. Eastern instead of 1 p.m. Eastern, because noon is too early. I mean, you do look refreshed. I will give you that. You look like you're not dead like you did last time.
I'm cleaned up. I've accomplished things today because we didn't start this at butt crack of noon.
So we do before we hit the news, I do want to get your guys' take on one or two small bits here. Things that we're going to go into more detail on Gaming Gumbo tomorrow night, which over on Ready Check Radio, which, by the way, Zach Sharps will be on tomorrow night. Yeah. Also, programming note, no Always Online podcast next Friday. Black Friday, day after Thanksgiving. People are going to be in and out with their families. We'll still be putting up some things. We got a ton of first looks going up next week, though. Halo from Troy, Call of Duty from Ethos. I'm looking at Nerf Legends for a first look video, but I'm going to tell you, my first half hour just isn't promising. I might put it up as a joke one, but it is rough. It is rough. Hopefully it gets a little bit better. So no show next Friday, but we'll see you the following Friday. We will have the early in the week streams. Troy will still stream on Wednesday, I believe, but then we won't have the Friday stream that goes on after the Always Online podcast. But you can still check out MMO Bomb for all the news. Steam Deck delayed 2 months, which means now mine was originally, I had ordered the biggest one, but it wasn't going to be available until Q1. Now I'm end of Q2, beginning of Q3. Troy, I think you got in for Wave 1 for the holidays, didn't you?
Yeah, initially I was.
Now you're February or whatever?
Yeah, I think it's February now.
Yeah, kind of disappointing, but also kind of expected, right?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. As much as they kept saying, holiday, I didn't expect to have a Steam Deck this year. I really didn't.
So a little bit sad there. Wilfredo, did you pre-order one?
No. Only because as much as I want one, and I know the first one's come out, it's going to be great, but there's always going to be some issue. And somewhere down the line, they're going to fix it.
You're not wrong.
Oh, yeah. We also got late last night, so it didn't really make the show notes today, but it is up on MMOBomb.com. Multiverses is a thing. It is a thing. We speculated on rumors that Warner Brothers was making its own brawler in the vein of Super Smash Brothers and Nick Brawl. And a few weeks ago, we had a question of the week about what Warner Brother characters do you want to see fight. That is now a real thing called Multiverses. It will be out next year for consoles and PC with cross progression and cross play. Wilfredo, you're a fighting game guy. They went full in on the Ultra Shaggy meme. They absolutely just freaking owned the meme and said, you know what? Fine, let's do it. What was your initial impression when you took a peek at this one?
Zoinks! I am super psyched for this. I really want to see this go down. Mind you, they have some characters from Cartoon Network and things like that, so I'm looking forward to see if they have Mordecai and Rigby from regular show.
Yeah, right now we just have like Adventure Time and stuff like that confirmed.
So Superman versus Shaggy, I'm telling you, Shaggy's gonna knock Superman flat down.
It's coming.
I'm calling it now. He's gonna be super OP.
You got to appreciate that they just owned it. And Warner Brothers had done that before, like, right? They kind of played with that at the beginning of one of their trailers for something in the past, but yeah, they totally just owned it here. All right. Now, on that note, let's go ahead and get started with the actual news. As we head into the news here, let's start with Blizzard because, I wanted to like think of something clever and creative to say, like, when it snows, it blizzards instead of when it rains, it pours. But it's also a situation where maybe just clever isn't worth it. It's just an absolute nightmare of a mess. And I gotta say, I'm not surprised by a lot of this stuff. We have been covering this extensively on MMOBomb.com since the state of California announced its initial investigation into Activision Blizzard. The a better ABK employee walkouts, the contractors disputes, the responses from the company that were just awful, and Fran Townsend and all of this. Well, now we have the Washington Street Journal reporting that, hey, you know what? Bobby Kotick knew. He hit it, and you know what? He even took part in it. Pretty serious allegations, and that is, at the moment, all they are, right? This has not been adjudicated in a court of law or anything, but it is hard, Troy, to look at all of the allegations and investigations for a months-long discovery on behalf of the Wall Street Journal. Washington Street Journal? Wall Street Journal. I said the wrong name of the paper when we started. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's the Wall Street Journal. Everybody knew what I was talking about. Everybody knew what I was talking about. But you also have corroborating evidence, stories and testimonies from employees, past, present. And, I mean, if you look back, he's had allegations in the past. And a lot of people forgot about that when all of this stuff came up. But he personally had lawsuits that ended up getting settled because he couldn't fight against them back in 2009, 2010. I mean, if you really want to go deep down the rabbit hole, he was in Jeffrey Epstein's little black book as a contact there. It's just not surprising, but there are some really, really damning accusations in here, not just on his own harassment front, but that he knew, it was reported to him, things that were going on, he helped hide them, and things like he penned the letter that was initially sent out to employees from Fran Townsend's email. The letter that he later came out and said was a tone-deaf response to the allegations of everything going on. And this article just went on, and your stomach just rolls, Troy, as you keep going further down through the article.
Yeah, it's very long, very detailed. A lot of different things pointing towards he is the head of the snake. He is part of the problem. I think we've all kind of agreed all along that if your bosses high up in Blizzard, Activision, and so on, you either knew and let it slide, which makes you a bad person, or you didn't know anything about it, which makes you bad at your job. Either way, you should be gone. Well, here we are, the man at the very top, the man who has, until now, kind of been trying to keep his distance from all that, is now being allegedly linked to everything, including some of the, like you said, the releases that have been given out. And apparently that's not the first time he's done that. There have been other releases given out over the years that he either wrote or signed on that were mostly his words. And he also, in the past, has gone back on statements that he put out under other people's names and then later berated them because the public opinion wasn't what he thought it was going to be. So he would go back and berate the message that he handed down to give out in the first place.
Yeah, and Jen O'Neill was made co-president Wilfredo back when J. Allen Brack was ousted, and they put in a 2-person duo, 1 male, 1 female, to be co-president. Now, initially, when O'Neill resigned, she said, I believe there's still hope for that company. I'm doing this because I want to pursue other avenues, particularly changing this type of culture in the industry, maybe not just Blizzard as a whole, but the Wall Street Journal investigation also details that, she actually left because she felt like they were doing the same damn thing that they were fighting a PR campaign against right now to her, in that Mike Ybarra and Jen Neal were not given the same pay for the exact same co-position. And she sent an email to a member of Activision's legal team in which she professed a lack of faith in Activision's leadership to turn the culture around, saying it was clear that the company would never prioritize people that way, the right way, and was only actually offered a salary as Ybarra after she said, I'm going to resign. Prior to that, all of her requests and Ybarra's apparently requests to get her on an even pay keel were just flat out ignored or denied. Now, this one's a little weird for me at the beginning, right? Because if you think about it, there could be 100 reasons, Wilfredo, why you and I might have different pay for very similar jobs. It could be tenure there, could be experience when you were hired, could be an agreement that we made when you hired me to poach me away from another company. What I think kind of makes this situation a little different than that kind of normal hiring practice, right? Where maybe 2 people doing the same job get a slightly different salary. You just burnt your bridge with your previous president. You're now putting in a new dual presidency, telling the world they have equal responsibility and are both responsible for righting this ship. At that point, I think everything goes out the window, right? And you just say, here you go. You both get $100K a year, or whatever the hell the salary. It's probably a lot more than that, but here's $100K a year for both of you because you're both doing the exact same job. Go do the damn job. Like, how can you be so dense that you let this situation even hit the table?
Honestly, I believe it's just pressure. I really do. And if you go through and read that article, you see that Kotick was really good at manipulating things into his favor.
God, yes, he was.
He was a master manipulator. And that's the thing. I'll put dollars to donuts. He said, I'm good for that. We're going to do the same job, even pay. And as soon as she left the room, now let me explain to you why I deserve more. And that's how it started. And mind you, he's got this nasty track record of saying something to do the exact opposite. He's a massive hypocrite. This does not surprise me.
And by all accounts, her partner, Mike Ybarra, also wanted her on equal pay footing with him. So,
exactly.
This had to have come from, Kotick and above. I mean, there's, or the, higher than those two. And
well, what is it? She had like 18 years at Blizzard or something like that. Like a huge tenure, way more seniority than Ybarra has.
Right. And yet,
still got paid less. Because she was, at the end of the day, let's be real, she was chosen as a PR stunt as a token female to put in that place, and that's unfortunate for her, for somebody who probably legitimately deserved that job.
I'm glad she walked.
Yes.
What I do wish, though, is that she would have been upfront in public with the statement, not have it come out weeks later through the Wall Street Journal. Now, I totally understand why she might not have done that, the least of which would probably be just out of professional courtesy, right? There are a million reasons why I totally understand that she did not, lambaste the company the second she walked out the door.
Well, you never know how your next potential employer might take that.
Exactly, yeah.
Regardless of whether you're at fault or not, you never know.
And depending on how you do it, you might open yourself up to, personal litigation as well. So I totally understand it. I am glad it came out, though. I am absolutely glad it came out. Obviously, a better ABK, the Workers Alliance for Activision Blizzard King, they have tweeted and had walkouts since then, and the calls for Bobby's resignation have been going in full force. Let's not be coy about it. My view is you need to leave. That's my personal view. He needs to be out now. And if he doesn't have the common sense to see that and resign, then the board needs to take active measures to get him out. I know he's got a stupid contract that you guys put in place that if you fire him, he ends up walking away with quite a bit of money unless
Good
you
old
really
golden parachute.
Yeah, unless you want to fight it in court and say it was with cause. But I think you have a little bit of cause right now. I think you have a little bit of cause. But not just employees and sideline people like us want him out. There, albeit small, there is a vocal portion of the shareholder groups that want him out as well. Now, they don't have a ton of clout as far as the number of shares that they have, but they are very vocal and could probably sway some more. And you know what? Shareholders like money more than they like people, and Bobby isn't good for money right now. So those calls could get bigger. And it certainly doesn't help, Troy, when you have Sony calling to say, hey, your response wasn't all that great to the Wall Street Journal report. What are you guys doing to fix things over there? And Phil Spencer from Microsoft Xbox saying, you know what? That news and that response leaves a lot to be desired, and we're going to evaluate our relationship with them going forward. You very rarely, Wilfredo, see CEOs chime in on other scandals or things like this from other companies. They kind of just, okay, well, let's shut up about it and we'll watch what happens. But here you've got Sony and Microsoft saying, you know what, we might rethink some things with Activision Blizzard if because we're not happy with the responses now, which certainly could then pressure shareholders to take some type of action.
He should have left the moment this started coming out. He should have just resigned. He didn't. And you know what?
His ego's not going to let him.
No, it won't. And you know what? That's fine. Because you know what they say, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. He's going to fall hard. Microsoft's calling him out. Sony's calling him out. And Sony, that's brazen on Sony's part because, boy, have they messed up in the past. That's saying something. When someone who's messed up in the past calls you out.
This is a company that spilled millions of our personal account informations via a hack and then hid it for a week.
Right.
When they start saying,
we
don't like your response to something. Yeah, it's a little dicey. We're gonna have to watch it though, Troy. It's one of those things that like you always feel like Ubisoft is just doing its thing, right? Yves Guillemot is just totally ignoring the Ubisoft employees in their call for a better place. You don't hear a lot about Riot right now, but you have.
Well, they're not the center of attention right now.
Yeah, you have in previous years. These are companies that have these types of problems, and you just kind of at the beginning of this. You kind of thought, you know what, it'll be news for 2 or 3 weeks and then it'll go away. But it just keeps getting worse, deservedly so. It just keeps getting worse.
When the Riot stuff first started coming out, it sounded like it might have gotten this big. But then, like you said, it just went away after a couple of weeks. It's like, wait a minute. Like, this is just not news now? Like, there has to still be stuff going on there. But I want to say something about the PlayStation and Xbox folks saying they're reevaluating their relationships and blah, 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 PR speak, blah, blah. Don't talk the talk, walk the walk. I get you don't want to just jump because an article come out on day one, but you're just want to smoke up everybody's ass right now. Do something about it.
You really think so? Because I don't expect them to do anything very quickly. Like, I do expect them as people,
they're not going to do anything.
Right, to see the report and say, that's pretty bad. It is just a report. You know, this is not adjudicated in any way, innocent till proven guilty type deal, but we don't like the look. And what we really don't like is your stupid response to it. Like, don't you think that is an acceptable first step to say, your response to this whole situation right now sucked? And if it doesn't get better, we're going to have to evaluate. Like, I don't expect them to just peel back and say, okay, we're not dealing with Activision Blizzard anymore. You do want to give the company as a whole a chance to say, to right its own ship before you just go burning those types of bridges, right? Now, if we're 6 months down the road and nothing's
how long
changed
do we
on
give them?
any
How many
front,
opportunities do we get them? How many lies do we listen to and accept only to be blown up later? That's what, in my opinion, that's what got us to where we are right now. Everybody talks about it. Everybody says they want it to get better. Everybody says we're making changes. Nothing's changing at Activision Blizzard. Nothing has changed, obviously. It just keeps on. All new stories just keep rolling out, same old crap, same old crap, same old crap. Nothing changes. Nobody's actually doing anything.
Wilfredo?
He's got a point. That's just kind of the wheelhouse that we kind of live in, especially in this day and age. Sure, it's easy to sit there and say, yeah, we're going to take a look, we're going to take a step back, take a look at things, reevaluate things. It's really just to see how much are your stocks going to plummet and how much is that going to hurt our bottom line. So he does have a good point there. But I would hope, ethically speaking, they would say, we're going to have to reevaluate our deal.
Well, that's the only way Kotick goes, is if the stocks just completely tank, just completely down in the dumps. He's made billionaires, even multi-billionaires.
Multiple times over, yeah. And you know what? Activision's Call of Duty not doing as expected in some areas. We don't have global sales numbers yet, but we do know that at least in the UK in week 1, it was down 40% over last Call of Duty. In the UK, albeit probably not the biggest audience for Call of Duty, but one of the bigger ones. So all these things colliding into a perfect storm. I give Xbox and I give Sony the benefit of the doubt for the moment, Troy. I do think it was important for them to launch an initial salvo, so to speak, and say, hey, we're so unhappy that we're going to go public and say that we're unhappy. You need to right your ship right now. And let them sit for a little bit and see, okay, you know what? You didn't do anything. Now we're going to change contracts. We're going to do different things. But you're right. I mean, if it's 2 months from now and nothing's happened on Blizzard's side and Sony and Xbox just carry on business as usual, then yeah, it was just talk the talk, not walking the walk. We'll have to see. But I do understand why they wouldn't just be like, okay, we're done with you.
Yeah.
It would have been a powerful move, no doubt. Would have been an absolutely
I bet it would have changed
big ball play
for once.
Yeah, oh yeah, you're right. Go ahead. No more on that, Troy? Okay.
Oh no. I've got plenty more to rant about this show. Don't worry about it.
As always, we will keep you posted on the latest in that situation. Gentlemen, there's no official stance or anything, and not like it matters anyway, but my personal stance is, and I've been vocal about it, is you need to go. And I also think Yves Guillemot needs to go. I've said it once, I've said it a bunch of times. We're not talking about the CEO needing to be aware of every single HR complaint that is lodged within the company they're the CEO of. No. But when you have culture shock to this point, to this degree, you either knew and you should go, or you didn't and you should go.
If a state is coming to investigate you, you knew something was wrong.
Yeah, you knew.
Before they showed up at your door.
You had an inkling that the hen house had some problems.
One of these things just doesn't belong here.
Hey, Troy, how's New World going? Because speaking of things on fire, every time I turn around, this game is on fire. And I hesitate to bash New World. I don't wish New World ill will. I've said to you privately and on this show that I think there's an interesting skeleton, and you have said the same thing. The meat's just not there, I think is the way you phrase it. But we have had gold duplications, then wealth transfer shut off, then it turned back on, then a new gold dupe found, then wealth duplication or wealth transferring shut off, then turned back on, and then almost immediately shut back off because something wasn't quite right. Inventory duplication, griefing, lack of content when you get to the end game, grinding, repetitive, boring content, wars having problems, server mergers now entering the equation, totally changing the landscape of all these servers. What the hell is going on with your game, and why should people still play it? Because you do.
It's a mess. This is not fine. This is not fine. This is not good at all. Every time they go to fix something, they break 2 more things, and that's not even hyperbole.
Yeah.
That is legit what is happening. Yeah. Every time something gets fixed, 2 more things are broken. The first time they took down the wealth transfer system and you couldn't trade, you couldn't sell things on the trading post, I was like, well, this sucks, but give it a few days and they'll get it sorted out. Well, they sorted it out all right, and then a bunch of us spent a few thousand gold putting stuff back up on the trading post just for it to get shut down again. I kid you not, I spent 1,200 gold posting items back on the trading post after it was fixed. I went to bed, lay down to watch YouTube to go to sleep. 15 minutes after I laid down, I started getting notifications from Discords that I was in. Trading post down again. All well trading discontinued. All your items in the trading post are just going to sit there and expire. I'm just like, are you kidding me? What are they doing now? Oh, they're duplicating trophies now. Okay, well, the first time that we shut down the whole economy to stop this sort of thing, this gold duping problem, a lot of big companies just started being able to dupe gold, because the economy was shut down. They had another dupe that they could do while the economy was shut down to fix the gold duping problem. It's a disaster. It's not pretty. It's not good. I'm not happy. A lot of folks aren't happy. And everybody keeps saying that, right? Like that's where we all are right now. And it's not a good sign at all. Everybody says, and I'm talking to everybody from Josh Triphase to Kira TV, I don't want the game to fail. I want it to do well. I want it to get better. But all that keeps happening is more stuff gets broken as they attempt to fix other things. They're having a terrible time maintaining an MMO. And I'm sad.
Jason Winter says, I'm browsing Reddit right now and just saw New World bug exploit. Change your company name to reset influence.
Saw that this morning. I don't know if that's legit yet or not, but I did see that this morning.
Wilfredo, we haven't gotten a chance to talk to you since this one launched. Did you partake? Have you jumped in? What were your initial thoughts? Stuff like that.
So I haven't played it yet, but I have been watching a lot of people play the game. And everything I see, it's always mixed reviews, which makes sense because there are some things that New World gets right. Like the atmosphere and the environments alone are really stunning. They're really gorgeous. But it's all
except for the fact that now people like Troy are turning around going, there's really only like 14 monster models in this game.
That's the other problem. That's the biggest.
Some of them are just really big and some of them are
really small, which is weird because I was watching some of the gameplay and it was literally the same captain that someone fought out in the open was a boss in a raid. The same guy. It's the same model with a couple of new
that's not the only one. Don't you worry about
no,
that.
It's not. The game, it's massive. It's huge, but empty.
Well, it's only massive because you can't mount up. You
right.
have to walk.
You have to walk everywhere. So it feels massive.
And that's
right?
that's a thematic.
On the road now, you get a 5% speed boost.
Yeah, that's a thematic thing. That's not a bug thing and stuff. Yeah. But we're getting now, you know, Troy, it's been months now. It's been a couple of months. And now the normal MMO fatigue that comes with a new MMO launch sets in. So, yeah, you're going to hemorrhage players over the course of the first 60 days-ish. That's to be expected. However, we're now seeing New World struggle to break 200,000 players on Steam when you look at Steam charts. Trending in the high, like 190s usually, 190,000 players. Granted, their initial peak was almost 1 million people, but comparing it to their initial all-time peak, that's a little ridiculous. That's launch day. But I think what's more concerning isn't, at least for me, isn't the numbers, the exact number of how many people are playing. It's the trend line. The trend line is just a very steady, even keel, slow, gradual decline. You expect this, hey, we got a bunch of players, let's go up, it just launched, okay, now we have some drop-off and a plateau for a little while, and then the decision of what happens with content, whether you get more content to increase that player base, or there's a lull in content that drives it down. There is no plateau looking at New World's Steam charts line, and it is the be-all, end-all indicator for New World because that's where you play it. You get the game on Steam, so what does that mean? Like, we're going to talk in a minute about a content update and whether or not that's actually meaningful to you as a New World player, because just as an outsider, I look at the content that was just added, the new trailer for the Void Gauntlet and everything, and I'm like, well, that's a cool little mini update. Here's a new weapon to play with, but as far as everything else, there's nothing here that makes me want to go, oh, cool. Now there's some more stuff I want to try. They added a few faction missions to vary things up a little bit, but at the end of the day, you're just grinding out more faction missions. Like, I don't get it. MMOs are grindy. Sandboxes even more so. But this straddles the line of wanting to not really be a full sandbox or a full theme park. And I just look at it as an outsider, Troy, and maybe I'm dead wrong and you can tell me why. But I just look at it going, I don't have a lot of hope for this title long term unless something drastic changes. And right now, I think they're still so focused on keeping the game running and not being exploited that's going to eventually influence things as far as content down the road.
Yeah, it has to, because like you said, the trending numbers are continuing to go down. That's because, like you said, we lost the ones who weren't going to stay no matter what.
Yeah.
And normally you would expect that to level out to those of us who enjoy the game, and there are some of us still there, but those are slowly, like, I'm frustrated with the game right now. Those numbers are dwindling because they can't fix anything without breaking other things. We thought by now we would be in the point where, okay, you know, most of the major bugs are sort of sorted out. There's always going to be little things here and there but we can start talking about the future, like this update and what's the next update going to be. Instead, what we're getting is these updates that come out, and instead of being excited about some of the things we're getting and some of the things that are being fixed, we are literally just waiting to see what they broke this time around. And there again, that's not hyperbole. We wait to see what is broken because every single time they break something by trying to fix something. Right. Every time, every update. Weeks ago, I put out a tweet. I was like, hey, you know, it's been 30 days or whatever since launch at that point. I was like, it's time for a nice big update that, you know, fixes a lot of bugs and stuff. And if this works without breaking other things, that's exactly what the game needs right now. Well, the patch notes came out that week, and it was exactly what I had asked for. It was a big, long list of addressing some major bugs and issues, and they put it out there, and they broke 6 more things. And that's when all the heavy gold duping and stuff started, was after one of those big, nice looking sets of patch notes. And then everything has just gone to crap since then, and everything just continues to break and break down. And those of us who like the gameplay loop and the basics of it, but are mostly sort of waiting because we see what this game could be, we're starting to lose faith that it's ever going to be that at this point.
Well, you guys are even having challenges with wars now, a pretty key component to the game, right? The server merges are really screwing that up, which we forecasted was absolutely going to screw that stuff up. Because of the way they were built and faction balance and everything. And to be fair, they've implemented, like, you know, you can't switch factions to the most dominant faction. And they do have a couple little safeguards there to try and encourage spreading out across the factions. But, like, what happened with your war the other day? You were like, yeah, this all went to hell. We went from being a powerhouse to having one region. This is an absolute mess.
Yeah, the server transfers, the free server transfers sounded like a good idea. And
transfers, not
yeah. Server mergers are coming.
They're coming though. Yeah,
don't worry. Yeah, they've been officially tested.
They're tested, and you have servers that are like 100 players. Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, I think my server is like 200 to 300 max now. And I think most of that is the guild that transferred onto our server. But yeah, I'd left the server that you and I were originally on because our faction had just imploded, and I had friends that couldn't get into that server because we had them 4-hour queue times and stuff at the beginning. So me and a couple of my friends just went to the server that the rest of our friends wound up on. And things were fairly balanced when we first got there. YOLO was a little behind, but all the other 2 factions had actually agreed, hey, we're not going to just kill them off the map. Let them stay in that one zone, let them rebuild, and let's get this server back healthy and balanced. Well, a few weeks later, when the server transfers went down and then came back up again because they were broken, surprise, surprise. So they went down for like 2 weeks. Then they came back. Well, a big, humongous, well-organized, well-run, I will compliment them in that, guild from a larger server came to our server. They joined the Covenant because they were I believe we were tied with Green at the time to be dominant, so they couldn't join either one of us. So they came in as Covenant. And they have now taken over the entire map because they came from a server that was larger population, and they did way more group grinding, dungeons, gear. They came in with better gear and more money and more stuff than we, just because they came from a server where more of that was happening. And it's devastating to a small server like ours when somebody steps in like that. And like I said, I think the worst part of that was when they first showed up, and still to this day, even a little bit, all anybody ever did was accuse each other of cheating. We said that they duped it before they came to our server, and they had all this high level gear that they had duped and all this skill that they had duped. And they were accusing us of all y'all ever do is use the current weapon exploit that's broken right now. And that's what the culture became with that. Just because they came in from the outside, were well organized, all we did was accuse each other of cheating, and it was horrible.
And because the game lends itself to it with so many high-profile bugs and dupes and weapon issues.
The cheats are so easy to reproduce when they happen. If you want to dupe, if you want to cheat, if you want to get extra gold, they're not hard to do at all. Some of them are so stupidly simple that you would think that even I would have thought ahead of time, been like, oh, we shouldn't be able to do that. We should do something about that.
Well, Fredo, I'm going to ask you in a second, like your long-term thoughts about New World, and maybe this question will come back a little later. But Troy, I do want you just briefly to touch on Into the Void. How's the update being received by those they're still playing? Because to me, like I said, it's like, oh, cool new weapon, but okay, the rest of it doesn't really do much for me. But maybe not being a endgame active player, the perception's actually a little different. So what's going on there?
On the PTR, it was fairly well received, the updates. Now, some of the staff users and stuff who use some of the more OP stuff didn't like that their stuff was getting nerfed, but overall, it seemed like a good update. Problem is, when it hit live servers, there are stealth nerfs to every form of in-game progression that there is. Stuff that didn't make it to the PTR, stuff that didn't make it into the patch notes, and stuff to 3 days later they still have not even talked about out loud. They have nerfed the amount of items that you get from elite mobs. They have nerfed the amount of items you get from elite chest grinds. They have buffed health and damage that elite mobs do. So now a 5-man group going in. By the way, you can't make a group larger than 5. 5 is the biggest group of folks you can have. You can go in and try to do this. It's tougher. Groups of 5 are having trouble with it, so maybe you go in with 2 groups of 5, right? That sounds like a good idea. You kind of work together in 2 different groups. Problem is, to get anything off of the elite monsters, you have to do a certain percentage of damage to that monster. No, not participation, mind you, damage. If I'm the tank and I'm main tanking a creature, and it's looking at me the whole time, beating my face in, and it goes down dead because the DPS of final tumble it down.
Yeah, but you're not
I
DPS.
may not get a drop
Yeah.
because I didn't do enough damage as the tank. Healers have the same problem. If they want to sit in the back and keep the group alive, guess what? They might not even get a drop because they didn't do enough damage to the boss. It's somebody didn't think any of this through.
Well, Fredo, where's this game 6 months from now?
Probably dead. And I only ask that.
No, like your honest prediction. Your honest prediction.
Honestly, I think the population is going to die off. I really do. I think it's going to die off. I don't think it's going to be dead, but it's definitely going to be really close to the graveyard. And the only reason why I say that is for 2 things. One, did they ever? I'm just curious, Troy. Did they ever fix that swimming patch or that swimming issue where you just walk into water and just walk through water?
Oh, that's a feature, my friend.
That's not a bug.
Oh, that's a feature.
That's not a bug.
That's not a bug.
No swimming coding in the game at all.
No, you just walk on the bottom of those lakes.
Yes, sir.
So that brings me to the other thing, which is
I just walked at the bottom of a lake last night.
which is this is an Amazon thing, right?
Yeah.
This is from Amazon Game Studios. I used to work for Amazon, and I can tell you everything they do is half-assed. It's literally, let's make this work now. And if it doesn't work now, we'll say, oh, well, that was a failed experiment. We'll move on to the next and still keep that in place.
Yeah, they've definitely done that before with their games already.
This is what they, mind you, look at Crucible. Crucible came in, hey, we've got this game, it's live. You know what? We're going to take that back, and now we're just going to shut it down. Why?
Well, and remember, this game was supposed to launch last year. Like, it was ready last year by somebody's estimation.
And look at it now. If this, mind you, imagine if it came out last year, what state would it be in now? That's like it. It's just, it goes to show you that when it comes to really putting in the time, effort, and energy to make a quality AAA game, doesn't matter if it's single player, multiplayer, what have you, You have to put in the time, you have to put in the testing, you have to do the QA before you launch it. We saw that with Cyberpunk, didn't work out. We saw that with plenty of games. This is another one of those examples of we need to get it out the door so we can make the coin. We'll fix it in post.
And I'd love to be a fly on the wall at board meetings, Troy, because you have to think that given Amazon's propensity here when it comes to their video game stuff, like those are probably discussions that they're having. 200,000 people is not the numbers that Amazon wants. It just isn't. It just 100% isn't. You know, Jason makes fun of me for saying CEOs don't want some of the money. They want all of the money.
Yes.
But Amazon wants all of the players. And 200,000 ain't enough. Like, you know, there's people in finance that projected well beyond 200,000 average concurrent players for any given stretch of time. This just ain't it. And that's not what's sad is those are tremendously good numbers in the MMORPG space. Like, there are games that would stab you in the eye to have 200,000 players at any given time, even if it was just for a couple of months. But I have a feeling there are people behind the scenes that these numbers just aren't good enough, and I wonder how much time they have. I just wonder how much time they have.
Can't tell you what's really going on behind the scenes in the boardroom meeting, but I can tell you what happened 2 days ago during an all hands Amazon meeting.
Here we go. You're talking my language. Let's go.
This was a big meeting that like millions of Amazon employees can take part in. So it's pretty easily verifiable. But New World was mentioned by name on 3 separate occasions. And according to Amazon, whoever was giving this hands-on meeting, Amazon is fully dedicated to continuing to provide assets and further development to this game.
That's a lie. Oh, that's a lie. Oh, that's a lie. Oh,
We'll see.
it's a whole.
Troy, I know you love the game personally, even though you've been very honest about its flaws. So this is going to be a hard spot for you. Before we ask you this, by the way, I saw that they were considering allowing a mini-map add-on through Overwolf, and that they were potentially considering allowing the use of other add-ons. I wonder how smart of a decision that is for a game that doesn't seem all that secure. like you have had multiple gold duping issues, and now you're going to let add-ons into the fray.
Yeah, just going to give everybody your API. That sounds like a fantastic idea.
Anyway, where do you see the game? Like, honestly, take a step back from your fanboyish part of you that loves the game. Where is this game 6 months from now? What's its future?
I think it still exists. I think it's still up and running.
Is it free to play? Oh, stopped him in his tracks.
Lord, yeah, that one kind of. I don't think so yet. I don't think they're ready. I think you're fixing to see a sale. I think you're definitely going to see a buy to play sale coming up, 50%, whatever, this holiday season. Coming to a holiday Steam
Black Friday New World Fire Sale.
No, even better. What they'll do is, hey, get a Fire Stick, get half price off. New World. There you go. If you got Prime, get the extra $10 off. Even better.
They're not free to play.
To actually fix some stuff. If they don't actually fix something, because like I said, we're to the point where we're expecting to talk about new content now. Like, we're expecting to start looking towards the future at this point, but that's not what we're doing. We're still barely getting the game to run.
Yeah.
So they've got to do something about that, or it's going to be the end. I'm so frustrated right now. I can't understand it. Every time I log in and I see something else that's broken, or on my freaking harvesting gear that I spent gold to gather and put together because I love gathering things in this game.
Don't worry about it. Just make yourself some more gold. You're fine.
Yes, you'll be all right.
You're fine.
Well, I would put some more stuff back up on the trading post. I'd probably just shut it down and all my gold will just disappear again. So
I honestly feel like this one is probably going to go free to play pretty quick. The problem with that, I think, though, is that its cash shop is not as robust as like a Black Desert Online.
Yeah, the cash shop really is not going to support this game as it is.
So I think they have a little bit of a problem there. Like, BDO could have. I'm amazed BDO isn't free to play at this point, simply because who the hell's buying those boxes anymore?
Yeah, I mean, if you pay attention, you can get it for free every couple of months.
You
Anyway,
can get it for free or pay like $6 for it or whatever.
I got a
But-
new account for free.
Yeah, but the cash shop was already so robust. We can argue about whether it's overpriced for the cosmetics or not. P.S. It is.
Mhm.
But I just the problem I see with it going free to play is that its cash shop is just not in any position. But that said, we did see in earlier beta tests totally different cash shops that had all kinds of different stuff in it, boosters and stuff like that drew the ire of people in beta, but they do have that stuff built in the background. I think free to play within 6 months is probably where this game is headed. So Jason can write that down, I guess. So 6 months would be about the end of April-ish, mid to late April of next year. Wilfredo says shut down. I say free to play. Troy says he's
heavily
unsure.
discounted, getting ready to probably go free to play soon.
Like, honestly, I think it's going to be in maintenance mode at that point.
Ninja Panda's in chat. If it goes free to play, there's going to be a sub. If there was a sub now, I'd already unsubscribed.
Facts.
Yeah. Jason says shut down by mid 2022. Okay, so you're with Wilfredo. We'll put you with Wilfredo, even though it's not 6 months exactly. You're saying between 6 and 8 months shut down. But so we'll put you and Wilfredo in the same box, and I'll be the free to play guy, and Troy, you be the cry while it burns guy.
I'll put up fire with my tears.
Last up before we head on over to the weekly bombs, if you didn't know, Halo multiplayer just fucking YOLO launched itself this past week, and I gotta say, there's two things. Watch 1 hour of Twitch streams, get the game for free is my prediction from Fan. Shut down by first year anniversary. Watch an hour of Twitch streams and get the game for free. Oh, God, I could totally see that as a prime drop. Fan, you're a genius. You're a genius. So there's a thing that I like as a gamer. Troy and I were talking about this behind the scenes. It was like, as a gamer, it's so awesome to go see the Xbox 20th anniversary stream, a bunch of announcements, and all of a sudden, hey, by the way, we ain't taking Halo Infinite Multiplayer's beta down. We're just moving it into an open beta starting Season 1, and you can play it free now. On December 8th, if you want to buy our campaign, you can buy our campaign. That's really, really cool as a gamer. As somebody who covers this stuff for a living and has to schedule out who's doing first looks, when they're going to go up, when I'm going to have them back from those people if it's not me doing them myself, getting coverage from, writing things or doing interviews or whatever. I hate YOLO launches. They are awful. We are in the middle of our Call of Duty first look. I'm doing a first look. It's either going to be for Riders or for Riders Republic or for Nerf. It's probably going to be Riders Republic at this point. I might do the Nerf one as a joke. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, well, shit, Halo. Okay, Jason, you want Halo? And he's like, well, I guess so. And I'm like, no, hold on. Troy doesn't have a first look right now. I'll see if Troy wants this, because Troy's a little better at first-person shooters than Jason and I anyway. So, and Troy's like, yeah, I'll take it. So, yeah, don't YOLO launch. Don't YOLO launch. But it is now available if you want to pick it up on PC for free. You get all the modes, all the ranking. The season pass is $10. I'll tell you what, gents, as soon as I had it installed, I went in and I threw $10 at them and bought the season pass. I bought the regular one. Had to, because I absolutely love their approach. Well, loved their approach. We'll get to that in a second. To the battle pass, and they don't want to do that whole fear of missing out, so you can always own every battle pass that you have and make progress on any battle pass you want, even if it's not the current season. You can just make... I was like, yeah, you know what? I got to support that. I'm going to throw them $10 and buy the Season 1 battle pass. Then we streamed it that night. Troy couldn't join us because shit went down in New World. And we realized, damn, it takes forever to do anything on this stupid battle pass. Because the only way initially to progress on it at all was by doing the daily and weekly quests. That was the only points that you could get on the battle pass. Jason and I and Kronos did like a half-hour big battle because it went into overtime, and it still ended up being a draw. And none of us made any progress on the season pass for it. It felt so bad, Wilfredo. Have you checked it out? What are your impressions so far?
So I downloaded it and played it last night, and it's Halo. Like, you can't go wrong. Like, I will gladly play this over Call of Duty. It runs smooth, plays smooth. I enjoy it. It's not hard or complicated to get into. It's just jump in, start playing. I thought this was probably
And
a
there's
really
just
smart
something
idea.
that feels really good about playing Halo
It
multiplayer again,
it
right?
Really, and mind you, I'm not a real big fan of first-person shooters, especially competitive shooters. I enjoyed this. That's saying something. Like, I really enjoyed this, and I plan on playing again tonight.
Troy, how you doing getting your thoughts together for the first look? Because there's actually a lot there.
There actually is. There's way more than what you think there is on first glance. Especially when you start realizing the difference in the type of person who's going to enjoy the arena portion and sort of the big battles portion. Because I was playing the arenas and I was like, this is just, I mean, it's fine. It runs good. I mean, it's quality game, but like, this is just an arena shooter. Like, if you take the word Halo out of this, I don't know that this gets any more attention than anything else. And then I got to play on some of the big team battles, and I was like, okay, wait a minute now. Here we go. There's the bigger maps and the more vehicles, and okay, there's more going on now. There's more people on my team. There's more people on the enemy team. Okay, so this may be what I'm looking for. So it's you got to take the Halo out of it, but for most people, they're not going to be able to because it's a huge nostalgia bomb for most folks.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Now I will say this: the menus are now. Okay, let me preface this by saying first, I get it. It's Halo.
Yeah,
it's a console game. I understand. If you're going to put it on PC, let's not have console trash menus because that's what we have. Trash.
Yeah,
if you're using mouse and keyboard, those menus are garbage.
Well, also, if you're using mouse and keyboard, don't 1v1 either, because if you 1v1 a controller player, it's like you're just a walking fucking magnet. I've seen shit curve. Like, it's really, they got to work on that a little bit. I'm not joking. Chat can back me up if they've played it. It gets pretty bad. Like, I actually was like, you know what? I'm just going to, I just pulled out the controller. I was like, screw it. You know what? If you can't beat him, join him.
You're going to get aim assist. I am too, damn it.
Yeah, if you can't beat him, join him. The aim assist is strong with this one. That'll probably be tweaked a little bit. They are already also tweaking the battle pass a little bit too. They've initiated some smaller fixes and then talked about some longer term fixes. So they've put in the Play One game challenge that allows for consistent XP gain no matter what mode you choose to play. So that's pretty decent. They've removed some weekly challenges that, like, you know, maybe your average player or your me may not be able to do in a realistic fashion or in a timely fashion. So they've changed those up a little bit. Things becoming play one rather than win one, stuff like that. They're doubling the duration on the times 2 XP boost from 30 minutes to an hour. They're doing a lot on this front. They need to do more because the battle pass progression, I was like, I love the way you're doing battle passes. Oh, this is how you're going to get me. Ah, gotcha. Gotcha. So no fear of missing out. I just have to play for 40 hours a day. No problem. No problem. No problem.
But at least you have the rest of your life to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, like, Troy, you got your arena matches. You've got multiple game types there, whether it's a pure capture the flag, whether it's a modified capture the flag. You've got the oddball games. You've got the deathmatch games. You got all that. Then you got all of your ranked. Then you got all of your big battle stuff. Then you got all of your custom stuff. Then you've got all the customization options that you would think goes with a first-person shooter in this era with a battle pass. My Master Chief's walking around with a cybernetic arm. Like, because I was just like, yeah, cool. Yeah, let's give him a cyber arm. Why not? Sure. There's tons of customizations, whether it's on your weapons, your armor, your vehicles that you're going to use in the big battles. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot to cover in the first look. It plays solid with the exception, in my view, and this is a novice on first-person shooters. I think the aim assist is a little strong for those controller players. I don't think I'm alone on that. We'll see when I look at chat while you're talking. But overall, it feels good to be playing Halo again. It does get me a little pumped for the campaign, and I generally, like, I've just been a mild Halo fan. I haven't even played all of them, but I do kind of want to play this campaign now. And it did immediately pretty much put Call of Duty on the spot, and they put their multiplayer free last weekend. So that you could play all of Call of Duty's multiplayer free last weekend, because it put the pressure on. it put the pressure on real quick, Wilfredo.
Yeah. And you know what? That's good. That's really good because I think Call of Duty, it's a bland game. It's wash, rinse, repeat. But this feels like a breath of fresh air in comparison. Like
the arenas are tiny, though.
They are.
I wish they were a little bigger.
But you know what, though? I actually had a lot of fun when I was playing last night. I was playing, I think it was Oddball. And
you had fun playing Oddball?
It's weird because I didn't know what I was
fucking
doing.
hate Oddball.
So do I, but it was weird because it was actually very enjoyable because I'm running around with the skull in my hand. I'm like, all right, I can't
Oddball.
fight. And then clink, oh, I can hit people. All right. And everybody else covered me. And we won. And I was like, this is actually really fun.
As soon as I see Oddball in the queue, I'm kicking the power bar under my desk. Like, no, I'm out.
No, it ain't like this.
I gotta get out of here.
But capture the
I'd
flag
rather
is
get
even a
duo
lot.
than capture the flag.
Yeah.
I'd rather play New World.
Capture the flag is a lot of fun. Oh, God.
Unnecessary.
Poor Troy.
We love you, Troy. But yeah, no, it's a lot of it's kind of refreshing, and I needed it, so I'm down to play it.
Yeah, just don't YOLO launch, because then it's now the first look's gonna go up like what, Troy, Monday or Tuesday, something like that.
Yeah, because I need this weekend to finish making sure I've got everything covered. Because guess what? I already had my week planned out.
yeah, and I want to get it up before Thanksgiving, but then now it's like 6 days past release because you shanked us on this 1343. But all in all, thumbs up so far. Gentlemen, let's go ahead, slide over, and do the weekly bombs. The Sagra says, that reminds me that I have MCC and haven't finished the campaign. I'm going to give an A-bomb, but you know what? Probably a dub-bomb too, by the way, to Blood Hunt being delayed until 2022. So the beta completed, and now they are going to back off. It was supposed to launch before the end of this year. They're pushing it back into 2022. And while it's an A-bomb because I can't play it anymore, it's probably a dub-bomb. Like, it just gives them more time for more polish, and every time they've done a beta and then come back with another beta so far, there have been nice improvements made, so it does give me a little bit of hope. And on the Vampire the Masquerade topic, if you want to hear more about Bloodlines 2, we're going to be talking about that on Gaming Gumbo tomorrow night, Ready Check Radio, 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll have special guest Zach Sharp sitting in for Jason Winter there. And we will talk a little Bloodlines, too, because apparently it's not dead yet, which makes me also happy. So an A-bomb to Blood Hunt delay, but probably be a dub-bomb in the end. Go ahead, Troy.
A bomb to Arcane League of Legends show on Netflix. That thing is amazing.
Yeah,
You should
Jason
check
loves
out.
it, too.
Dude, it's really good. And a bomb to myself for ever believing an MMORPG could make me happy again.
Well, Arcade Unchained is becoming a sub-based game. Maybe you want to give that another, like a fifth shot.
You know what? Sub me up. Let's go. I live for disappointment.
Fredo.
I'm going to give an A-bomb to Best Buy. I wanted to upgrade my laptop, get a pretty decent gaming laptop. I was going to trade it in towards another one. They offered me $172 for an $1,100 laptop.
Oh, wow. That's like double what I thought they'd offer you.
Yeah, nah. I'm a little disappointed in that. So yeah, A-bomb to them, and yeah, good job. I'm never trading in anything over there ever. No.
From chat, we've got, where are you? Empty Man again saying dub-bomb to Halo YOLO coming out. Yeah. Ninja Panda saying dub-bomb to Halo and Battlefield releasing and being enjoyable. You might be in the minority on the Battlefield one there, Ninja Pandas. At least according to the Steam reviews right now. And a massive A-bomb to randos in Halo for being annoying. Don't get me started about randos. Yeah, randos. Yeah, I'm a Rocket League player. Don't get me started on randos either. Don't get me started on
He's used to
randos
being intense in a match, and you look over, and one dude's just driving circles over in the corner.
If they're even moving. It's if they're even moving.
And that's when you just, if you
At
know,
least if they're driving in circles, maybe they'll accidentally bump the ball.
that's when you just got to yell out, "Caboose, what are you doing?" And just walk away.
I had a capture the flag game where I swear one of the people on my team did not know that they were playing a shooter.
What?
Dude, I mean, oh my God.
Fiery Duck on YouTube says, I don't believe the PlanetSide team is lazy. They just lack resources. This talking about the PlanetSide 2 update we spoke on about last week on the show. In the same blog announcing Oshur, they stated that the team size of 2018 was only 6 people. On that note, da bomb to the PS team for sticking around for so long. I'm really looking forward to the new continent and the naval battles. And I replied to Fiery Duck because if we gave the impression that either Jason or I or Q thought the PlanetSide team was lazy, that is certainly not the impression that I believe we were trying to give. We agree it was a resources thing, not a lazy thing. And that's what had us concerned for PlanetSide's future over the last few years. Not that they just didn't feel like doing anything. But so dead on, Fiery Duck. Go ahead, Troy.
Misfit Rain, A-Bomb to New World Test Server Mage changes. Firestaff Ice Gauntlet. Basically, they nerfed them so bad, they give you HP, buff you up, and cook you dinner when they hit you now.
Yeah, Troy can relate. Troy can relate. Go ahead, Wilfredo.
Affection says, A-bomb to cables on Q's wall.
Yeah, apparently they want that cable management fixed, Q. Gotta work on that cable management. RS Jabber says, A-bomb to Todd. Wasn't Skyrim 3 Anniversary Edition supposed to be free for owners of Skyrim 2 Special Edition? What's with the $20 price tag? Bethesda. Last week's question of the week, is it okay to schedule time off of work for a game release, or is that just ridiculous to you? What games have you ever scheduled time off for? Any of you gentlemen do that?
Absolutely.
Rift
time
and the first content.
Something? Yeah,
Rift and the first content launch of Rift 2. Yeah.
Wilfredo?
Skyrim when it first launched and Fallout 4.
Guestly says, I believe it's okay to schedule your free time whenever you need to. Who cares what you do in your free time? A lot of people schedule their free time so they can travel. Other people don't like to travel and see it as a waste of money, etc., but no one is saying such an opinion out loud because why would they? I personally have not done it, and I believe I won't do that in the future as well. MMO launches usually have a queue simulator or are a queue simulator anyway. If there's no queues, then the other day one problems, sometimes it takes more than a few days to fix those problems. In my country, each year, I can take 4 weeks plus some days of evaluation and record of service / experience in the company you work for. There have been times when my vacation is in some game launch window, but I've not done any rescheduling just for a game's release. When I was a young lad, I did call sick days for time off of school so I could grind MMOs with friends, but that was like 15 years ago when I grinded Lineage 2, and for kids, it's a little bit different. Yeah, it is a little bit different. Go ahead, Troy.
I think nowadays it's a little different too. Everything launches broken, so don't schedule your time off around launches. Breckner Catalan, question of the week. If people take time off to go on holiday trips to the mountains or the sea or whatever, why wouldn't it be just as acceptable to take time off to play a game? Exactly.
Agreed.
Nobody should care what you do on your paid time off.
Wilfredo.
Thover Risk, question of the week. Absolutely have. I mean, I play mostly MMORPGs, and when an expansion is scheduled for my main game, if work and school allows it, I'll almost definitely will try to schedule at least a few days of vacation to sit back and just play comfortably. Plenty of snacks, a good stash of soda, and pre-prepped actual meals in the fridge. Wife bribed to leave me alone, and off we go. I mean, why not? It's not every year I get to do that stuff. It's just bliss for a few days. I think I deserve it. And I agree.
You do. Yami Kami, question of the week. I don't schedule time off for game releases, but in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with doing it. It's your time. Do it the way you want. Pretty straight to the point there, Troy.
RS Jabber, yes, it's okay. It's your free time, so do whatever you want with it, especially with online games. Look how often early access is part of pre-order bonus. Early start can be crucial. Would I do it myself? No, it's too risky because of delays or server problems, but others can do it and test the launch for me.
Just have them beta test for you.
Right.
Go ahead, Wilfredo.
Raise 0101, question of the week. I think that's a decision everyone makes for themselves. Granted, if you're in a critical role or a job where literal lives depend on you, it's a lot more complex. That
True.
said, and that is true. That said, I think that's not really the case for most people. So that aside, if you can afford to take the time off and you don't have any immediate negative externalities, I don't see the harm, so long as you're not shrinking critical responsibilities.
Shirking.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Shirking. If you're in that spot and you don't have to do anything serious, go play your game.
Joke's on you. I shirk critical responsibilities every day.
That's different.
Misfit Rain says, question of the week. Of course, everyone will compare this question to taking vacation, because it is. If you like something, do it. If the job's in the way, take vacation days to do what you like doing. You want to go get eaten by a bear while camping in the woods? Go. I'd rather kick the shit out of a bear with my new uncommon sword that dropped off the last bear's ass. I kicked in a newly opened game. Safe caution, my roommate and I took a week off when Diablo came out. Yeah, 1996 Diablo was so worth it. Would probably still be worth it today. Would still be worth it today. Question of the week this week. All right, you know ours. What are yours? Lock them in. What is your prediction for the future of New World? Is it going to thrive and be okay? Is it going to die? Is it going to go free to play? Is it already dead? Why? In the comments below. Make sure you leave us that on YouTube and on MMO Bomb. No show next week, so we'll cover them the following week. Have a happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate this coming Thursday, and enjoy any time with family or just with people that make you happy. Until next time, Wilfredo, where can everybody find you?
Come find me on the Twitter at Damien X Marius. I'm doing crazy stuff there now.
Troy.
As the setting sun shines upon me,
Oh my God.
the universe tells you, new fridge on Twitter.
So dumb. My name's Mike Byrne. You can follow me right there at magicman1, but more importantly, follow at MMO Bomb so we can tweet at you every time we put up new first look videos, articles, interviews, giveaways, and more. 2 weeks from now, we'll see you. Stay safe. We'll see you on the servers.